Agentic AI is unlocking hidden talent inside your organization. I need to tell you about something happening right now inside organizations, and most leaders are completely missing it. Agentic AI isn't just automating tasks, it's revealing a category of talent that's been sitting in your org chart the entire time, invisible. I'm talking about brilliant systems thinkers who've spent years in procurement, operations, admin, customer support. People who understand how complex processes connect and break. People who've never written a line of code in their lives. I've spent 25 years in enterprise technology. I've seen every wave of tooling promised to democratize technical work. Most of that was marketing. This one is different. Let me tell you about a friend of mine. I was at his house a few weeks ago and noticed he'd set up a proper workspace in the corner. Mac Mini, laptop, 2 monitors, and the kind of focus you only see when someone's building something real. He was monitoring and adjusting a complex system he'd built himself. Here's the thing. This man has zero IT background. His entire career has been in procurement and supply chain. Operational work. The kind that keeps a business running but rarely gets called visionary or technical. A few weeks earlier, I'd given him the same pitch I give everyone these days. Just try building something with these new AI tools. Start small, see what happens. My conversion rate on that advice is maybe 1 in 10. Most people nod politely and move on. He actually did it. Within 3 weeks, using Claude and a handful of other tools, he built his own personal Jarvis system. Not for one use case. 3. Completely different ones. He used it to monitor his home's water filtration and automate his lighting out in the desert. He hooked it up to a system helping him write a book, and he applied it directly to his day job, building supply chain models based on a career's worth of understanding exactly where things connect and fail. One system, powering a water heater, a novel, and a corporate supply chain. You know, the most striking part wasn't the technical achievement, it was the realization that his instincts were already there. His organizational thinking, his comfort with processes, his ability to see how systems interlock. The AI didn't inject that into his brain, it revealed it. It gave him an outlet. Within weeks, his management team was pulling him aside, asking who he was and how they could get him doing more of this. That's the shift. For decades, we've defined technical capability by credentials, computer science degrees, IT job titles, years of hard coding experience. And because of that narrow lens, we've completely missed a massive pool of hidden technical talent. People who spend years solving operational bottlenecks but have never had a mechanism to express that capability in code. The barrier keeping these minds out of technology was never intelligence. It was activation energy. To build a software solution in the past, you had to learn how to code from scratch. That's a multi-year investment. The sheer amount of activation energy required kept incredibly capable people on the sidelines. That bottleneck is collapsing. It's not gone, but it's low enough now that someone with the right instincts can put in 3 weeks of focused effort and build something real. When that happens, a switch flips. They stop seeing their work as a fixed environment and start seeing it as a dynamic system they can reshape. That is exactly the kind of employee you want. Let me give you a historical parallel. The gyroscope. Invented in the early 1800s, it started as a children's toy, a physics curiosity that sat in university lecture halls as a demonstration. The underlying principle worked perfectly from day one, but it just sat there, waiting for aviation to need flight stability, waiting for space travel to require navigation, waiting for the smartphone in your pocket to need screen orientation. The gyroscope never needed an upgrade, the world just had to grow into it. The systems thinkers in your non-technical departments have been waiting the same way. The administrator with latent engineering instincts, the operations manager who intuitively understands complex networks. They weren't waiting to be developed or upskilled. They were waiting for an instrument that actually needed what they already had. Agentic AI is that instrument. Now here's the urgent part. We are facing a massive education gap right now. This kind of AI fluency isn't being taught consistently or at scale yet. Even if it were integrated into every curriculum tomorrow, it would be a decade before those students entered the workforce. You cannot wait a decade for the talent pipeline to catch up. You have to close this gap internally, starting now. A word of caution. Security, data handling, risk management, yes, all necessary. But you cannot overgovern the initial discovery phase when you don't even know what's possible to build yet or which of your employees possess these hidden instincts, layering on bureaucratic red. Tape will kill the activation energy we just celebrated. What you need is a sandbox. Think of it like a university environment. Education for the sake of learning and discovery. You provide the approved tools, you set clear, strict data boundaries so nothing breaks security. But within those walls, you give people pure freedom to follow their curiosity. You give them permission to build badly at first so they can eventually build well. The mindset here is critical. You want individual building. Let them follow what interests them. And most importantly, do not measure this early discovery phase against ROI or a rigid business case. The Copilot sits in production like a chrome espresso machine in a kitchen with no running water. It impresses visitors. It doesn't change what gets done. We don't fully know what an AI-capable workforce will need tomorrow. The investment you're making isn't in software. It's in revealing the capability of your people, making sure your organization is agile enough to respond to whatever comes next. Your organization is full of people exactly like my friend in procurement. They're everywhere. As a leader or even as a team member, if you give them the right sandbox, hand them the approved tools, and set the necessary boundaries, they will use these technologies to express the organizational instincts they've possessed all along. They just needed the medium, the latent talent, the systems thinkers. They are sitting quietly in your office right now, maybe one desk over. They are ready to build. The only question is whether you'll give them 3 weeks to find out. The people who understand this early will have an unfair advantage. Follow for more.